Red Devils Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? David Moyes, tactical genius, comes up to Manchester and gets done by Erik ten Hag and his high-flying Reds. Hey, it wasn't the most controlled match for Manchester United, more so in the first half. Second half, we sat back and gave David De Gea and some of our defenders a lot to do. But all that matters is we got a big 3 points. Marcus Rashford was playing on the left, looking electric. And even Ronaldo played full 90 minutes. Probably could have had a goal or two if he was a little sharper. But, overall, decent play. But it's a big 3 points because a game like today where you didn't play that well. We played okay, but not great.
What are you talking about?
Sure.
Didn't play that well.
We played good, not great. We shouldn't let that
Played outstanding.
We shouldn't let that. We played outstanding. Let me get my preamble in. All I'm saying is the first half was very complete in terms of opportunities, chances taken, making sure that they didn't have too many opportunities. Second half, I'm sure if you were to ask Erik ten Hag, he would have wanted a little bit more from the boys, minus De Gea, minus the Delo, minus Martinez, but I'll take it. I'm a Muppet. Big win. We march on from here.
All right, David Moyes comes hanging out at Old Trafford once again, gets slapped up by Erik ten Hag and his boys. It wasn't like a dominant performance, like a toe-to-toe.
Like Spurs.
Touchline to touchline. We didn't own every blade of grass. We missed Anthony. We missed our best defender. Harry Magoo came in, did a job, looked a little bit like a little shaky, but Martinez, he's the force at the back that can actually work with Harry. Also, like Lindelof was down, so then Maguire next man up did a job. Shaw did a job. I think the back line did great. Shout out to De Gea. Huge defensive performance, clean sheets. Yeah. This is big time. When you talk about top four, when you talk about trying to compete for trophies that we're hungry for, that we're thirsty for, sir, you need solid defense. Defense wins championships. It's true in the great NFL. It's true in the great EPL. You need a solid defensive line. Ten Hag looks to have fixed that. We didn't press him out the gate. Maybe it's because we were a little unbalanced with who we had out there on the pitch. CR7 at number 9, Rashford on the left. I thought we looked good. Got the goal. Shut up shop. A little nervy at the end. But either you kill it off or it's going to be nervy. This is the best league in the world, and we did it. We got the job done. This is about results, closing up shop, getting to the World Cup, and then reassessing after the tournament.
I mean, in that mark, it was a great result because it was an important 3 points. All I'm saying is even when you're not at your best, the great teams, they get a result. And today, we got a result partly because we had a great defense, especially in that second half. Shout out to Lowe, shout out Martinez, and shout out even Harry Magoo, who started slow and I think grew into the game. And I think he grew into the game when he started to lean more on the center back next to him, who is a top center back. Martinez is worth every single penny. A lot of it was like, well, Varane's a player, but he is. But Martinez is a hell of a player as well. And just, I think, took a lot of pressure off of Harry Maguire getting back into the side. But Delo and Shaw both were terrific today going forward, and most importantly, defensively. Those far posts that we were so exposed at, especially last season, they were all over it. That was a huge part of us keeping a clean sheet. And I think if we were like a little bit more tight with our passing and tidy on the break, we would have ripped them open 3-4 goals. But like I said, you didn't play perfect, but we got a result. We got 3 points and a big one because this is arguably the hardest game we had left before the break.
Yeah, and kudos to Ten Hag. He picked the right team. Ronaldo had the beef, sorted the beef. Now he's in at number 9, and Rashford's playing his best position. Oh, by the way, Rashford looks amazing playing on the left wing, like we commented on before. Looks like Ten Hag finally realized, hey, I can't. Maybe we didn't press because Ronaldo's in the team. Maybe that's the different strategy, but we end up finding a way in these games, especially at home, against like the West Hams of the world, like Declan Rice. He looked great. The defenders for West Ham looked a little haggard. Maybe a double yellow should have been given. But this is how you win things. You win things by just doing the business. 1-0 West Ham at home. No one should be complaining. Some people, Manchester United fans around the world, are complaining. I just don't get it because if you watched last season, if you watch some of those games, remember those matches, and then this one's amazing.
Well, they clearly didn't do a podcast for every match last season because last season just it rings true into the minds, especially of these two podcasters, around how far we had fallen, or maybe just the continued slide since the 2013 retirement of the great Sir Alex Ferguson. So we have come a long way from last season. We've come a long way from last year, or even like a couple months ago when we were in London seeing Manchester United get embarrassed. That 1-0, they could have beaten us much more against Palace down in Selhurst Park. Like I said, at the end of May, sir. And here we are now, end of October, playing a lot better football, a lot more composed, good results. This month, we're going to do the Patreon pod after this. Shout out, join Patreon. But brick by brick, we're getting there, and there's going to be bumps along the road, I'm sure, but very encouraging stuff a couple months into the proper EPL season.
A character building performance, a team building performance when you're able to hold the line late, hold on to 1-0, these clean sheets, and having to switch out Magoo in for Lindelof and holding the clean sheet down. It's absolutely huge. Casemiro in the midfield. Everyone got it right today. Professional performance, 3 points. Let's go. Quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils, like Alex mentioned, the best way to support us is Patreon. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/American Red Devils. We have 71 Patreon supporters. We're looking to get to 100. It's why we don't have any ads on this podcast. So you want to support us, please check it out. We drop a behind-the-scenes podcast episode every single month. We give away pins, stickers, scarves, shirts, you name it. Check out our Patreon. Please sign up. And if you don't want to do Patreon, check out our store, americadevils.store. Grab some merch. We got shirts, scarves, hoodies, beanies, everything for the winter and the Winter World Cup. Check it out. And also our website, www.americareddevils.com, where you have amazing fan-generated blog content. If you're interested in writing, you can reach out to us, americareddevils@gmail.com, or just read it and support it, because that is what this pod is about. Small-time operation, for fans, by fans, getting that biased fan take out there about this amazing club. And what a time it is to see this team on the rise, United. Watch out for them.
You love to see it. Another great way to support the American Red Devils is you can write reviews. Write 5-star reviews on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen, and we're giving away free merch. This is how you do it. Write that review. Send a screenshot of the review to americareddevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. I just sent out a big shipment, places all over the place. Sweden, Singapore, all of the great of US of A. So get on it. Great review coming over from Nolan Kasbar. Best United pod around. Love the pod, sirs. Love listening to the Hot Banner every morning on my way to work. Not only is the pod informative, but it's also absolutely hilarious. Glory, glory, Man United. Glazers out. Green and gold to the club is sold. Thank you, Nolan. Appreciate all American Devils listening week in, week out. Sir, Hammers coming up to Old Trafford. I have to think that this game last season would have been a point for us. Best case.
No, absolutely. And, you got to shout out to all the people writing reviews, liking, subscribing, because we need it. We don't do anything else other than that. So please check it out. So look at the memorabilia in the podcast bunker, the 2008 Champions League final scarf that I purchased a long time ago. It's a little faded now, 14 years later. How many years till the next Champions League winning scarf that I can add to the podcast bunker collection? How many more years? Maybe a Europa League champion.
Europa League's more likely.
I wouldn't even buy it.
Depends
I'll
on the
tell
Glazers.
I ain't buying no
give it away. If you
black and orange Europa League championship.
If you go to
scarf.
Budapest, it's in Budapest this year. And if we make it, I don't know if we're going.
Beautiful Budapest.
Beautiful Budapest.
So the wives will throw us out.
Yeah, honestly, we're already on short leashes after the Winter World Cup. We're going to see United play Fulham, the last game of the season in May.
There's a limit on trips.
This would also be in May.
Yeah.
But how many more years? It depends on how long the Glazers hold on to this storied club, because I don't think we're winning no Champions League with them holding the purse strings. So we'll see. But I'm building in at least 2 decades in my brain, because
how dare you?
It could be. It's only been 10. We're due like a 30-year drought, like we had before.
We're going to win Europa League, win Champions League. You heard it here. Let's go. Muppets all day. Let's get into it. Manchester United 1, West Ham 0 at Old Trafford. That lineup, Dave saves role number 1 in net. I keep saying it. People don't believe it. Today was another reason.
He looked at today.
Luke Shaw, the impossible meat pie, is back. He's on the diet. You love to see him. He is in top form. Martinez, Magoo at the back line. Delo right back. Eriksson, Casemiro, Fernandez midfield. Rashford on the left. Ronaldo at number 9, and Alanga on the right. Boy, do you love to see that. Ronaldo in the number 9 position with Rashford playing in his best position. This probably wouldn't have happened unless they had that little bust up. And now you're seeing everyone getting along. Kumbaya, CR7. Who would have thought he'd be a good number 9?
Who would have thought? Yeah, who would have thought one of the best goal scorers of all time could play up front?
He listens to the pod. Ten Hag listens. I've been saying it.
Somebody listens. Appreciate all you listening in. This 11, I like this 11. Ronaldo up in front. We got no one else to play number 9 because, like you said, Rashford is better off on the left. He's just so good on the left, so confident, adds a different dimension that you're shortchanging the team playing up front.
You play Alex at 9,
don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. So I like this idea, right? Because you have the speed of Alonga and Rashford to kind of flank Ronaldo. Obviously, we went for the more adventurous midfield. He didn't put Fred in instead of Eriksen, so I like that. Maguire, obviously featuring for Lindelof because Lindelof got sick. Antony took a little knock. And Maguire, this is when you need him. This is when you need players to step up like Alonga, like Maguire. And I thought both did pretty well, all things considered.
I got it on an inside source, the loop-de-loop that Antony did in the Europa League is the reason he's out. Pulled his groin.
I'll tell you what, maybe it was all the noise. All the pundits are really like making a meal out of it. I'll tell you that. They're making a meal out of it.
The loop-de-loop. First half, United come out in control. Not as crisp as we've liked to see, but we did have the upper hand to start. 4th minute, Delot finds Rashford well, but he can't get his feet set in time. He could have left this one for Ronaldo, but Rashford jumping in from the left. From the jump, that was a common theme. 6th minute, Elanga with a decent chance, dragged it wide. Elanga hasn't featured too much this season, but he came in to do a job, and for a youngster, needs to get some composure in front of goal here. 14th minute, Ronaldo takes a decent pop from 25 yards out. Why not? And then 15th minute, Rashford with a great headed chance. He was much sharper. I mean, this is a great header in the 15th minute. He got power on it, put it down in a dangerous area, and Fabianski was there for the save.
But you're right, because he was doing everything well. I think, the things we've been critical about him in the past is holding on to the ball too much, trying to do hero ball. I think he did less of that today. He did a little bit of that today, but his overall just like moving off the ball, his like one-on-one ability to take on a defender, which he did a couple of times from the left, looked really good. And this header, he does everything right except for placement. Puts it down, which is what you want to do, but he puts it right at Fabianski, and he made amends a little bit later.
25th minute, Magoo looking slow. This is the first time that you saw Harry Magoo try to run, and boy, you just see the speed. It just ain't there. De Gea off the line, quick, bails him out. That is huge from Dave Saves. Well done to De Gea there. 36th minute, Elanga with a great chance at the far post. Can't make much of it. And this is where I felt like it was a little cagey. We were a little neutralized there for 10 minutes, but we would find the breakthrough with a little bit of class here.
Eriksen got it back from Fernandes. Floated in by Eriksen. How he meant that! 100 Manchester United goals for Marcus Rashford. And that was a belter.
Well, the pace was on the cross, but the run from Rashford, he's outside carer, and then he decides, I'm going to get in front of you. And the fullback standing, waiting for the cross to come in. You cannot do that. You have to attack the ball. And Rashford takes it upon himself to attack it for him, gets right in front of him. And once he gets in front, you don't have to put any power on it. The power's in the cross. It's a brilliant ball in, really is. There it is, gets in front, high, no chance for Fabianski. Take a chance, get in front.
And you got to give Eriksen a huge shout out for this cross off the hop. He gets wicked swerve on it, and then Marcus beating the man at the back post and finishing amazingly with that header. His header game has been on. I think ever since he missed that one big one, he has been just like on a run with headers.
Absolutely right. And then our two creative outlets in Eriksen and Bruno linking up really well. Bruno keeping it in play, and then Eriksen just doing such a nice job getting that ball in. But Marcus still with quite a bit to do and just powers it home and emphatically, sir. Just buries it. That goal was reminiscent. I was thinking of with the game. Was it Ronaldo against Roma when he had that like banging
Yeah.
head, and then obviously
Not.
got the,
I mean, like, come on, you're doing that.
the defender actually clobbered him. So there's no defender clobbering him, but like just the pace and the speed of which he came into the obviously is no
So
Ronaldo.
doing it in the Champions League on the way to win the Champions League is a little different than doing it against West
we
Ham.
did
when
batter
they're,
that Roma
in
side,
the
sir.
mid-table. Yeah, but 44th minute, Bruno nearly finds Ronaldo with an outrageous ball, just over. We go into halftime confident, up 1. You know the drill. Got to kill it off. Otherwise, it's going to be nervy. It will be nervy at the end if we can't kill it off. United allow West Ham to control the ball, content to sit back and absorb pressure. 49th minute, Scamacca boots Martinez in the head. No second yellow. That was interesting. I feel like the yellow cards have been a little strange against United. Defender has a yellow or even attacker, and it's just really hard to get that second yellow.
Yeah, but they're not reluctant to give out the first yellow, at least to Manchester United, under some very inconsistent decision making. But this has to be a second yellow, right? I know he puts his head down a little bit, but at the end of the day, Scamacca makes a very high boot in the box. Dare I say, dangerous play. It's borderline. I'm not looking for players to get sent off so we can win a game, but something that makes me think that if United did the opposite, we would be getting booked.
Maybe the ref's a fan of neck tattoos, and that's why he didn't give him a yellow. 57th minute, Delo defends the ball at the back post extremely well. Magoo nowhere to be found, but the rest of the defense was on it, absolutely on it. Delo, you got to give a big shout out to him and the clearances he made in this game. 60th minute sub, McTominay for Alonga. We were calling for a sub. I kind of said, hey, maybe take out Ronaldo. Put Bruno he went to the 4-4-2 here, bringing McTominay on. Some combination of that, try to lock it up, and Ten Hag was right on it because around this time, West Ham was growing into the game. 61st minute, Ronaldo with 2 quick chances. Can't place his header from a nice Luke Shaw ball and then blast the shot wide. Bruno was looking for the pass, but I told you, Ronaldo ain't ever passing this ball when he has it in front of goal.
No, but like you said, I think that was McTominay's sub making an instant impact because we clogged up the midfield a little bit, turned over the ball, and we're able to push it up front. First one was a good one. That had a chance from Ronaldo. Was a really solid opportunity. I do think I agree with you. He could have found Bruno, probably gotten a goal, but he's going to take that chance every second of the day. Oftentimes he challenged the keeper. He certainly had a lot of pace behind it, but Ronaldo, he was looking for his goal today for sure.
Ego the size of a planet does not pass in front of goal, and when you're a number 9, you want him to shoot. 63rd minute, another great chance for Ronaldo. He was kind of feeling it going to the game, just too much on it. 65th, Delo with a great clearance at the far post. The game was getting stretched here. We were intent to break and try to go for the winning goal, and then that allowed West Ham to get into it. I also felt like we were giving away the ball a little cheaply in the midfield. I think McTominay had like a hero ball cross. A few different turnovers, and it put pressure on our back line, but they were there to bail it out. 76th minute, Martinez with great defending against Dawson. 77th minute, we need more defensive midfielders. Fred for Eriksson. I thought this was a good call from Erik ten Hag. And then 80th minute, Dave saves, big tip over for Antonio. 10 minutes left. We were going to sweat it. 82nd, another save. This one on Zuma. Great save from the Spaniard. 86th minute, Fred hits the post from a nice headed effort with the Brazilian assistant manager in the stands evaluating Fred for the upcoming World Cup. 92nd minute, Maguire with a big block on Bowen. Nervy stuff at the end. This one, we were just like, this was just scrambling. 93rd minute, Dave saves another huge save again. Big 3 points. We sweated it out. Anytime you can't kill it off, and you're in the EPL, team's going to come knocking, and we held. And huge shout out to De Gea. What a keeper. You got to extend him. We don't have anyone as a backup. How could you get rid of De Gea?
No, I think there's no doubt on that, especially given the noise in the pressers, which is that he is very much open to taking a reduced wage, which when you're starting from $375 a week, I think that's reasonable. But he just shows his class today. He did the sweeper keeper move well. All in all, distribution was good. He actually had some good physical punch outs, which has always been a weakness for the Spaniard. And huge saves, 3 or 4 massive saves from the Spaniard, keeping us with a clean sheet today. And you know what? I think we could have killed that game. That 60th minute sprint, right? Ronaldo had 3 good chances probably in 5 minutes. But either way, 3 points. They should pump the team up. get us fired up as we head down to Basque Country. So looking for a big result against the Sociedades.
Saucy Daddies. That's a great one, sir. Great nickname here on the pod. Stats-wise, 16 shots for United, 13 for West Ham, 3 shots on target for United. They had 5, a lot of them coming in that last 10-minute spell. We had more of the ball with 53% to their 47%. Look, it was an interesting game. We did not dominate. We did not impose our game plan. They neutralized us in the first half, and we ended up getting the breakthrough and holding on. And sometimes you need to do it. You can't just dominate every single Premier League game you play. Sometimes you just need to get the business done, get the clean sheet, and head to the showers. Manchester United will finish today with a positive goal difference for the first time this season in the Premier League. That's something to celebrate, and obviously Ratcher scored. 100 goals for Manchester United, first player to reach this milestone for the club since Wayne Rooney in 2009.
Love to see it.
Love to see red-faced Wayne Rooney getting hammered in Dubai. What a gentleman.
We're going to see him soon.
Come on, Wayne.
Looks like they do serve dark ales in the UAE, and it looked like Wayne Rooney's having a great time on the offseason.
Sir, Wayne Rooney, just
legend,
fighting around the
legend.
world, as we always coined here on the podcast. You're going to give a little recap of the table. I'm going to close my eyes.
For those of us who do follow the table before Boxing Day.
Why would you?
Why would you?
Why would you?
Well,
Why
keep your
would
ears
you?
covered. I thought your ears were covered. Get out of here. I'm having a conversation with the rest of the podsters. We got Arsenal are still number 1. They had a big win against Nottingham Forest. Are they for real? We'll see. City right behind them, 29 points. Spurs at 26 points. Newcastle, would you believe it, at 4th place, 24 points. And Manchester United right behind them in 5th place, 23 points. We go ahead of Chelsea. They got beat up by Brighton. Love to see it. Fulham behind them, Brighton behind them, Liverpool, they lost to Leeds in the American Army at Leeds United, sir. I was rooting for Leeds. I hate to say it. They got three Yanks in the mix. Now I'm rooting for Leeds, especially when they're playing the Scots.
You can't
Masters.
root for Leeds. This is
I
a
know that,
Manchester
but
United
against
podcast,
Liverpool,
sir. Just going to
sir,
inform you. But
I'm-
what do
I'm
we
aware.
know? Let's check in with the man, the myth, the legend, the bald, shiny, cue ball, Dutchman, turtleneck wearing, blazer, throwing, Eric Ten Hag.
We defend with 11, so I'm happy with all of the pitch, how they do it. But a part of it, defending the box, when the pressing get beaten, that's a part of it, and they do it well. And we have a massive keeper. He's really composed, really controlled. So he's really had confidence, let it come, and he makes some great saves. But when I see how the back four is defending the box, really good, cooperating really well, closing gaps, supporting each other, covering each other, and go for the battles. Give everything in battles, and that's what they're doing, and that gives a good spirit and a vibe to the team.
One of those members, Diogo Dalot, has had a really good season. Is it more impressive the way he's performed, given that he's not had a rest, he has started every game?
Yes, I think he's developing quite well. From the start, I think he could see he has his power, his strength, his physical power, what he can go, what he can bring in his attacking game. But I think he is progressing game from game in the defending part as well, in finding his position, anticipation, cooperation in the back four, cooperating with his winger. So he makes really good progress, and I'm happy with that.
Eric, there's a perception in Spain that David De Gea can't play with his feet, and that's why he doesn't get picked for Spain. But when you see performances like that today, is there a better goalkeeper? I mean, he basically won the match for you with those saves at the end.
And so everyone has his own opinion on it and his own philosophy. For me, it's first from a goalkeeper is you have to protect the goal. So you make sure you don't concede goals. And in that fact, he's magnificent. And on the feet, for me, he has the capabilities as well. And I think when you see this season, he is progressing from game to game in that part. And it has to do not only with the keeper, it has also to do with the one in front. And how do you give the keeper, how do you give him the options to bring passes in? Because when they don't run free or in the wrong moment or in the wrong positions, then he doesn't have the options to pass around. But I'm convinced he can do it, and I think.
Well, this is
break
just
break that down. Break that down for me, bro.
The De Gea show, look, Ten Hag obviously complimenting his goalkeeper who had a huge finish to this match, and I feel for him. I think it's unfair. De Gea gets just absolutely like clapped up by the Spanish press, clapped up.
He hasn't been in great form. I mean, he hasn't
What are you talking about?
he has not been in great form, sir. Before this last 2 months, he has not been in great form in the prior 2 to 3 years. That is like how many
Manchester
errors
United were not in great
No,
form.
of course not. But he's made a number of big errors that are uncharacteristic. Name one of Barcelona.
That's 3 years ago.
Brighton.
That's
Brighton.
3 years.
He had an error in like the first game of the season.
Yeah, okay, one error in the first game.
How many
Now
errors?
he's
He had 4 errors probably last year, like big ones.
All right, big De Gea hater here.
I'm not hating. I'm just trying to
just hating the guy. Like De Gea, love you. If you're listening, love you, De Gea.
I know you love Ronaldo.
You want to hang out?
I know you love De Gea.
De Gea, you want to hang out?
De Gea too.
I'm telling. No.
Have a donut.
No,
you want to
no.
have a donut with De Gea? I'm not
I'm
invited.
telling De Gea.
I'm not invited.
De Gea.
I love De Gea too, but he did not play that great for over a couple seasons.
I'm talking to De Gea. I'm talking to my big brave Spanish Dave. Makes great saves, never shaves, flying through the air. Come and take a shot if you dare. Come on. My boy De Gea, we're going to Qatar. You want to have a dark ale? You want to have a donut? We'll be there. America Red Devils. Get
He's
in touch.
available now.
You know us on Twitter. Let's go.
He's not going. He's available.
No, I know he's available. He's going to hang out with us. Come on the pod.
John, I'm not invited.
Alex is off the pod. De Gea,
I'm going to hang out with Wayne Rooney, get blasted in Dubai
Like,
with
I
Wayne
love
Rooney.
how the manager is complimenting our keeper for just playing great. And then Alex is coming in hard on him like the Spanish press. You're coming in like the Spanish press.
Context.
It's like,
Okay, what do we got for you?
a big De Gea fan. Your brother met De Gea too, and he was a nice guy. This guy's killing him on
Met
the
him in
pod.
Toledo.
How dare you? All right. We're having a great time on the podcast, and then obviously Hans and Franz just gonna
Here we go.
drop that beat. Let's go. All right, we got a next match here. You hear the tunes, you hear the beat. Real Sociedad, a.k.a. the Saucy Daddies, versus Manchester United, Thursday, November 3rd, 10:45 a.m. Pacific at the Estadio Anota. Final group stage match of the Europa League. Thank God.
Thank God.
Sorry, Hans. Sorry, Franz. There's a lot of them, and getting the knockout stage, I'm actually hoping we do not win this one by 2, and that we get it's rigged. If we do not beat them by 2, we will be getting Barcelona. You heard it here on the podcast. We've talked about how rigged the draw is. They go for the big views. You have big teams. It's the way it's going to be. Lifetime versus the Saucy Daddies. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 1. Last 5. Pretty much all the games we've ever played them. We most recently lost 1-0 at home at Old Trafford. Then we drew them in the Europa League 0-0. Then we beat them 4-0, and that was last season. We always have trouble against Spanish clubs. If you know us in Europe, United, we struggle. As far as Real Sociedad coming into this game, they beat Ammonia 2-0. They beat, I can't pronounce all these teams, but let's... Valladolid? Guts.
You got it.
So
They're in decent form, sir.
they are
It's back. It's coming again.
the remix to the remix. How dare you shut it off? Let's just keep it going.
You should just play it the whole pod.
They're fourth in La Liga. We can check other tables, just not the EPL table. They're currently drawing with Betis. They have won quite a few matches coming into it. 4 on the bounce, not including their current match they're in. They're a good side. David Silva, you've heard of him. They're playing the 4-1-3-2, and it's just going to be tough. It's just going to be a tough match. They're a proper La Liga side. We've struggled with them. It'll be interesting to me where Erik ten Hag comes out on this one, because obviously we have Aston Villa coming up, and then the EFL Cup, and we have players injured, and I would rotate huge here. Yeah. There's no point. I just don't. You got to balance. Like, you already qualified for the knockout. Beating them by 2 away is a tough task. They're stingy, right?
Yep, it's in La Liga. Effectively, you're on Spanish ground.
So I would honestly just play the kids and focus just try to get everyone a blow, and then go to Villa. Now, I know Ten Hag is a savage, so he's going to play the best players until the World Cup, because he's just going to ride them into the ground. Basically. And that is what Ten Hag will do. And, if in that case, I hope we win by 2.
Because he's going to go for it.
Because he's going to go.
Because you're right. Because
he's like all gas, no brakes.
No, he is, and I love it. But until the engine breaks. But I think, as you were getting at, it's more important to beat Villa on Sunday than it is to win against Sociedad by 2.
Exactly.
It is. So he's going to want to do both, because he wants it all. He's got high standards. I get that. But you're going to their ground, right? So they're home fans with, it's not probably not going to be a Spanish ref, but they're going to get an advantage because it's home, and they'll get behind them. They'll try and drag the game out. They'll know they have to concede 2 goals, so they're going to slow the whole match down.
It's going to be an awful match to watch.
It's going to be awful match to watch.
And that's why, Ten Hag, he needs somebody in charge of fanalytics. And fanalytics are basically biased fans telling you how to run the club. So you should hire the Mercadellos to be in charge of fanalytics.
CR7, put CR7 in.
Play the kids. Give me a debut. I'll wear the shirt. Sorry. Give the good players a break, and then it's on to Villa.
I can't wait to see your 11. I'm actually very excited.
Located in the city of San Sebastian, Basque Country, founded in 1909, Real Sociedad plays its matches at Anoeta Stadium. Dying. It's like, so I got a 2.5 for that dismount. Real Sociedad won La Liga in 80, 81, 81, 82, and they finished runners-up in 79, 80, 87, 88, and 2002, 2003. But they are also on the resurgence. They've won the Copa del Rey 3 times, and they've won it in 2020. It contests the Basque derby against rivals Athletic Bilbao, which Andrew Herrera, who drinks Estrella by the cask. He is not Spanish. He is Basque, sir. He plays for their rival, so the enemy of the enemy is my friend.
There you go.
As to be expected. And Real Sociedad was a founding member of La Liga in 1929. Its longest spell in the top flight was for 40 seasons. And they used to have the Basque-only players. And then, obviously, they signed John Aldridge in 1989. They broke ways with that. But they still retain a strong Basque representation of players, similar to Barcelona. Whereas the Catalunya, you got the Basque, you got all the regions of Spain that are very, La Liga is a very interesting league. And when it comes to the Basque country teams and the derbies, you're going to see a lot of Basque players in there, and that's a cool part of their culture.
It is, and this is a special one for the away fans, because it's a great city. It's a great place to get tuned up before the game, so that Estrella by the cask, they make a fine beer in San Sebastian. So I'm sure the match day away Reds will be enjoying themselves. And like you said, I hope play the kids and get a result. Wouldn't that be fun to get the best of both worlds? But I think it's 2 weeks left until they shut down for the World Cup. I can't believe it. So I think in the meantime, he's just going to go all for it. All or nothing, as they say, sir, in Amazon world.
And injuries are piling up. Tony Martial, always injured. Victor Lindelof, he got sick. Anthony had a knock. That was brutal. But again, he's been playing nonstop without a break. AWB, B-Dubs, Tuanzebe, Varane, thigh injury. We know he's trying to race for fitness for the World Cup. So we are starting to see this high pace football kind of play out as far as injuries, and they are piling up, sir. Given those injuries, what is your lineup?
I think he's going to go for broke. So this is the 11 that I see. De Gea, net, Delo, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksson, Bruno. Bruno is not available for Villa because of an accumulation of yellow cards, so he's definitely going to play Bruno down in San Sebastian. And then I'm doing Rashford on the left, Ronaldo up front. I think he just brings up the special boots when he's playing in Spain, and Garnacho on the right. Who you got, sir?
I'm actually going similar. I think he's going to go for it. And since
where are the kids?
That's not Ten Hag.
It's not Ten Hag.
He's going to go for it, and because they are going to defend, you're going to see that Ronaldo game, right? So you're going to see Rashford, Ronaldo. I think it's going to be Alonga again. Bruno, Eriksson, Casemiro, Shaw, Martinez, Maguire, Delo, De Gea. Erik Ten Hag, also he's Dutch. You have to think about, a Dutch manager. Europe is sort of the sexy competition when you're playing in a league like the Dutch league, and Europe is going to be a priority for him. So he's going to want to win. He's going to want an easier fixture next round. We are good to go for the 2 goals. We will see how that goes. Booking the bookies, start giving the odds.
Sociedad, they're the underdogs, plus 210. The draw at plus 260. And United, the favorites at plus 120. Given the odds, sir, what is your score prediction?
This one, for me, it's going to be, I think it's going to 0-0 all over it. We haven't had a 0-0 in a while.
Tie is a good prediction. I could see a tie being more than likely. I'm going to do a Muppet route, 2-0. United, win the group, take all 3 points, and we're skipping those matches in February because you knew they give us Juve or Barca, sir. And they still probably will.
Barca, guaranteed. United in the news. All right, Fabrizio Romano, fan of the pod. Ten Hag here, quote, "We need 2 good fullbacks on the left and right because we have a lot of games to come. Manchester United will explore market for a new right back depending on Wan-Bissaka departure. Frimpong among players scouted, not the only one. I thought we weren't buying anyone in January. Who needs a striker when you can get a right back?"
Sell to buy. We're a sell to buy club. If they are able to sell AWB, shame it didn't work out. But bringing in another player that Erik Ten Hag rates, that's usually a good route based on his success thus far. But like you said, you'd almost rather stretch with Brandon Williams and then you can move Malacia from left to right and still get a number 9 or a second number 9 because we really need goals and we really need a target man. So I don't know, but like for like, I also understand that as well, given the way that Erik Ten Hag likes to play and how many games are coming.
Sir, next bit of news here.
Bad news for us.
Not necessarily bad news for us, but they've been listening to the pod because if you listen to this podcast, you know that if I ever bought Manchester United, I would live at Old Trafford. They're not quite doing it, but they're going to think about building a player hotel at Carrington, taking a page out of City's book. So instead of staying at the Lowry, I think the
shout out to Lowry,
or the Hilton Garden Inn, where they literally stay at these hotels in the city ahead of the game. It ain't easy getting from those hotels to Old Trafford. Right. They should build a hotel at Old Trafford. Players sleep at Old Trafford. Get up, boom. But instead they're going to do Carrington. Regardless, same concept. I'm going to say they just stole it from the spot.
Yeah, they must have. They already have hotel football. This would actually be at Carrington, so it's aligned with training. It makes sense. I mean, it's kind of crazy that one of the most famous sports teams in the world is just staying at the hotel we're staying at the night before a game. That's a little unusual. And they do it all the time too, which is also even more unusual.
Well, the NFL teams go stay at hotels in other parts
when they're away.
Yeah, I know when they're away, but
this is a home game.
Yeah, but it
just before the Giants play, and if they lived in Jersey, they're not staying in a hotel.
No, they don't stay in a hotel.
So it's I think it's just kind of an interesting thing to do. It'd be more sense.
Well, it's a thing in European football where the whole team stays in a hotel, try to get away from the distractions at home.
Which makes sense as well.
Yeah, but, just build the hotel on top of Old Trafford.
Invite ARD. We'll come in.
We'll run the hotel. Next bit is here. Cristiano Ronaldo to get Manchester United escape route in January as new transfer offer prepared. United have been steadfast in their refusal to allow the want-away Portuguese striker. I mean, you could just say the greatest of all time is that Portuguese striker.
Your fanboy is really like shining through today. So the Ronaldo,
Dude, Gary Neville.
What was you see who gets?
How dare you?
Yeah.
By the way,
how dare you? Who?
Gary Neville. How dare Gary Neville? How Gary Neville speak out against Ronaldo the Great? Like,
wait,
he's
so
the
how did that
greatest
go
of
down?
all-
So give
like,
people
he-
context.
Gary Neville like clapped him up on like Monday Night Football, saying like you can't leave the game or whatever.
is
Like
true.
clearly you can't do it, but you don't need to like clap up Ronaldo. You need to say like
he watches by the way.
By the way, Roy Keane, like staunch defender of Ronaldo, because what do you want? Do you want to be friends with the greatest of all time, or do you want him to be snubbed by? He has an ego the size of a plant. Very sensitive guy,
Watches the news apparently.
sir. And he dapped up the Sky Sports people except Gary Neville, former teammate. And you got to defend your guys. You can't defend the indefensible. You got to say, hey, look, Ronaldo hasn't been getting playing time. He was the leading scorer last season. On the next one. But Gary Neville clapped him up, and
but more
Ronaldo. He's dead to Ronaldo. I wouldn't want to be dead to Ronaldo.
More importantly, less important, like whether or not Gary Neville and Ronaldo are getting together for Thanksgiving, which they won't be because I guess they'll both be in the Middle East worrying about the World Cup. What do you make of this? Because there's a little bit of an interesting nugget at the bottom, which is the first time I've seen it, which is United be willing to buy Ronaldo out in the second half of his contract. That is not something I ever see this Manchester United doing, given the owners and given the fact that like they'd have a really hard time justifying.
They don't need to buy
not
him
replacing
out.
him.
They wouldn't buy him out. They would cancel the contract because Ronaldo would.
Be willing to cancel it as well.
Yes, exactly. I don't think there's going to be a buyout. The real question is, you kept Ronaldo. You didn't sign Gapco. If you let him go, you saw today, like we've argued about it for like the last month. Ronaldo at number 9 and Rashford on the left gets the best out of Marcus Rashford. The defenders are occupied with Ronaldo. He makes good runs.
We can't press
and
as
then,
well though.
Obviously, but who then you play Rashford there, and he's not as good, and then Sancho's no good. So then, like, what do you're making a hard decision, is what I'm trying to say. So the Ronaldo option with a team that is going to sit back today, like West Ham,
Sociedad will as well.
Ronaldo and Rashford on the left looked like the move against Southampton, the move against Fulham, the move against these teams that you need to beat, like because Ronaldo is dangerous in behind. You got Delo crossing it, Eriksen crossing it, Bruno crossing it, Shaw crossing it. You got some players there. You got Casemiro as a threat, and then you got Ronaldo in behind, and then you got Rashford coming off the left. It's a huge setup for United in the second half of the season. You're going to get rid of him. That's fine. Who are you going to replace them? You can't get rid of him if you don't replace him. I agree. It's time for him to go. I do not trust the board getting a replacement. That is the issue with letting him leave.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly because I know he should be let go and he should be subsequently replaced. He should be.
He should have gone in the summer.
Yes, he should have, and they should have gotten Gapco and a striker. And if they are going to let him go in January, they should be lining up his replacement as we speak, which I know they are not because they want to see what the hell happens with the last run up before the World Cup. And does Ronaldo leave? Did we get any money out of it? Do we have to pay him the last half of the contract? But the big thing is you should let him go. You should get a new player in, but that won't happen because if we do let him go, they will not bring anyone in because that's dividend
Manchester
season.
United not have a striker?
Well, they have injured Tony Martial and an ineffective Marcus
many
Rashford.
games is he
and,
gonna miss?
Joe Hugel, they can put him in, or McNeil. You know, they're going to make the manager lean on the academy when the players that are in the academy are not ready to step up to the league, and it's too much of an ask for
can't
either
do that.
Martial or
You
Rashford
can't
to be
do
your
that.
number 9 at Old Trafford. So
You can't do
you
that.
got to get a number 9 in. I'm on the same page. We're not arguing.
The thing is, if Tony was healthy right now and playing every game,
Yeah, different
like
story.
it would be a different story. Like I could maybe see that, but in the situation we're in, you cannot let him leave and not replace him. He should go. We should avoid the deal. We should avoid it last summer, like I said on the pod. As much of a muppet that I am, if a player doesn't want to play for you, you gotta get him out
100%.
of town.
100%.
Paul Pogba out of town.
See ya.
Ronaldo out of town. Like you need the Martinez type players. You want the grit. You want them winning battles, like Ten Hag said. We are on that direction, and Ronaldo's not part of the future. I think you need to keep him to the end of the season because the board, I don't trust them to replace him, and Ten Hag shouldn't either because they'll get rid of him, and they don't know nothing about football, so we're screwed. Next bit of news, Manchester United told they will regret missing out on a £100 million star because the transfer was too complex. Sir, let us know. You put this in here. Who should we be signing?
This is a little bit of Glazers out corner, sir. This is because the reason that we talked about Moise Caicedo earlier in the season when he played against us when we got beat up and he looked like the best player on the pitch, right? Tony Valencia told us to sign him. This player was available for £3.6 million when we were dying for a midfielder. And apparently United backed out of the deal because it was too complex. And that's because you got numpties in the front office executing deals. You got numpties everywhere other than Erik ten Hag and his assistants. And this tells you everything you need to know. We weren't willing to take a punt on how much? $3.5 million. That's like a couple weeks of Ronaldo's salary. This just speaks to the incompetence at the front office at United at the moment, and a real shame because Caicedo is now being monitored by lots of top clubs, and did he be a $50 million plus signing minimum?
Caicedo, Camavinga, a lot of great players who are midfielders that we were linked
Jude
to on the
Bellingham,
way coming
remember him?
up. Jude Bellingham, Erling Haaland. It seems if we didn't sign them, they are going to do well. It seems if we do sign them, the jury is out. Other
That
than
Sesko kid looks pretty good. He's like banging them in.
Apparently, we're linked to him too. We're linked to everybody. It's all a bunch of BS, sir. But as far as strikers go, if you could sign anyone in the world right now, who would you sign? Other than Haaland, which is the obvious answer.
Obviously. I would like a sizable. I'm gonna mess up so many names right now, so I apologize in advance. Like a sizable number 9, like Velokic. How do you say the guy's name? It's
Vlahovic.
Vlahovic at
Juventus.
Like he's a proper unit. Probably obviously not as good of a finisher or as aggressive and physical and insane as Haaland. But I take him. I would take Sesko probably. Not over anyone, but like Anuku, also an RB. He's a top player. He was like one of the top scorers in the Bundesliga last year. I take him as well. So who you got for me?
I'm gonna go Sesko. Young
player.
Huge player. Haaland 2.0. City's got Haaland. You can get Haaland 2.0. Let's go. Jumping into fan questions here at SS Grok 17. Quote, David De Gea, Magnifico, glad for the win. Was a bit squeaky there, though. Keep that bum tight. We needed to. Next tweet here. At you, Bosun, on Twitter, getting prepared for the World Cup, supporting the Danish team. Shout out to the Danes. They got a great team with Eriksson, and I think they'll do some damage this World Cup. Quote, just once, I want to enjoy a game of football and not be sweating it out in the dying minutes. 3 points appreciated, though. Good to see Magoo and De Gea with some good performances. That was pretty nervy there at the end. And at Red Devil Woody, quote, Robbie Musto saying, well done to West Ham, ? United won 1-0. Man then says Trashford doesn't make it to the World Cup. What the F? I hate the anti-United bias from NBC. Anyway, 3 points in the bag. That's all that truly matters. Win ugly.
I mean, we talk about this the same thing.
So you're yelling at halftime.
We talk about the same shit every year. I mean, we've talked about this for years and years and years. And actually, Manchester finally played some decent football. We played, like, without a doubt, much better in the first half. And then they go to the NBC numpties, and it was numpties today, unfortunately, including Tim Howard, former Manchester United legend, minus the legend part. And he was like, Manchester United didn't play well enough. They're getting out. We had all the chances in the first half. And second half, I agree. Let him into the game. De Gea probably kept us with all 3 points. But, hey, that's what happens when you have a world-class goalkeeper. So, fuck NBC Sports. Fuck the haters. Sorry, I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Robbie Lowe, Rebecca Lowe, excuse me. Robbie Musto, Lee Dixon, Graham Lasso. Who was the other guy?
It's just like, it's
Let 'em
not
go.
that. I mean,
They're
look,
bad.
obviously they're not great.
If
So,
Arsenal got
just
1-0 up into that in the same performance, or you think they'd be like, oh, they didn't play that well? They'd be like, oh, Arsenal, Arteta, be a potato.
Sir, you gotta your history, right? And when these players were playing, and when these announcers were fans, they were not fans of Manchester United, and Manchester United was doing what?
Stomping them.
Stomping on
week in,
everyone.
week out, season in, season out.
And of course, like ingrained in their DNA is a subconscious dislike for Manchester United because we ruled it's like we were like the T-Rex just dominated the landscape for 20 years and put it on everyone.
They are bitter. They're so bitter.
And by the way, when
Including Tim Howard. He's
Sir
bitter
Alex
too.
put it on, well, because he got kicked out.
He wasn't good enough.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's like we put it on everyone, and we put it on them in a way that was like a don't come around here no more. And we just did it. We took it all.
Slap. What were we talking about? Slap this weekend?
So we clapped up everybody, and that's why United are down, and they're emboldened, and they're on TV. And that's just the way it is. But it's the one that got me is the Arlo getting the boot. That was solid.
That's great.
That
helps.
Because I feel like I forget the new guy, but
Drury?
Peter Drury.
He's great.
He's not nearly as biased during the game, because that really irks me when it's just like the commentary should try to be unbiased. You get to the pundits, it's just word salad.
No, but
just
he's
like
right
this
down the middle.
pod.
Drury's pretty good.
But
He
Drury's
just calls
really
it. He just calls
good,
it. He's a little
and-
actually United by it. He likes United.
Yeah, yes, he does. He's definitely a United fan for sure, and that makes it a little more enjoyable. But I mute the halftime for sure.
Hey, good.
At Jamal Mota, quote, "Sirs, a nervy, scrappy finish. Dave saves twice, and Magoo had a few key blocks at the end. Our passing was horrid, but Marcus with 2 headed goals is the story. I bet after he missed the header at Castle, Ten Hag made him practice for days, and it pays off." Yeah, that was the one. It was the Newcastle header that he missed in the dying minutes. At Fairway Freddie, quote, "Great podcast and great stuff from you lads. Appreciate it, Freddie. Get us a striker and De Jong, and we might be in the top 4, maybe second, pushing the oil merchants to the close. These are the games that matter, the close run games where the result is on edge. Are we back yet?"
Back to what? But we're tell you what, we're on the way. We are directionally, we're headed in the right direction. So I'm very excited by the progress this team has made, by what he's able to get out of some of these players. Like, shout out to Eric Ten Hag getting the most out of Diogo Dalot, because he looks like a top right back. Like, defensively, we knew he was a good player offensively, but defensively, he's been all over it. He's been so good week in, week out. Same to Luke Shaw. Shout out to Tyrell Malacia putting a fire under his ass, because once again, he's on that diet, sir. He's looking fit. He's looking good. And dude, we press on from here.
Are we back? I would say in a certain way we are back, because the one intangible, arguably the hardest thing, is that fight. And we're seeing the back line fight. We're seeing Martinez fight. We're seeing De Gea fight. We're seeing like a team that is together for 90 minutes, like blood, sweat, and tears type of stuff. It didn't start the season that way, but we're seeing that now with some key additions from Ten Hag, and we're on the way, right? I think when you saw it on Rangnick, you saw it on Ole, it was like ghosts. Yeah. Like Dalot wasn't, you saw the effort Dalot put at the back post today. He didn't last season.
No.
The players did. There was no togetherness. There was no unit, like win the battles mentality like Ten Hag talked about in the press conference. Now
no infighting either.
Yeah, and now we have it. But the key is Ten Hag needs 400 million.
Exactly. More. 304 million more.
Yes. So when you see the spark he's been able to generate, and you see where this team is heading this summer, this January, this is the time to double down on Ten Hag. We have to double down now. Now, what's going to happen is he's going to have to keep fighting with his hands tied behind his back. And that ultimately, how that plays out, nobody knows. But that's why #Glazers out always, every day, because this club ain't got no money like that to spend right now.
Money,
and it's in a very tough spot. So we are back in a certain way. It's encouraging, but we need reinforcements, and how much is Sesko going to cost? 80, 90 million now. So
he was 20. He was 20 this summer, and now he's 80.
It was 40, I think, with add-ons and probably a buyout
fees.
clause. And
Gapco, how much he's going to be? He's leading the league right, like the European top 5 leagues in goals and assists.
I'll tell you, if it comes down to it, if United don't buy that player, other teams should buy him because it's guaranteed.
Someone's going to buy him.
I know. Look, that's it. That's the podcast. We are for fans, by fans. You like the American Devils, support us on Patreon. Trying to get to 100. We have 71. Please check it out, patreon.com/American Devils. Check out our store, americadevils.store. Our website, americadevils.com. Subscribe, like on social. It helps. Everything goes a long way to support the small-time operation. Sir, give us the last 10 downloads, top 10 cities, last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Chennai, India. Northfield, Ohio. Fargo, North Dakota. Chicago, Illinois. Buffalo, New York. Phoenix, Arizona. Bangkok, Thailand. Oslo, Norway. London, England. And last but not least, Houston, Texas. Appreciate all the American Red Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. Woo! Sir. Only a couple matches left before we pause for the World Cup. And it starts with the Saucy Daddies down in San Sebastian. It's going to be a big match for Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag, he ain't laying off shit. He's going to be guns blazing. Same 11 probably.
Everybody have a happy Halloween. Everyone enjoy the week. We'll leave you with Strefford and Horizon.
Horizon.